Washington State heads to Washington in the Apple Cup. And Washington, a 16.5-point home favorite. Total of 68 on this one. 3 p.m. Central Time on Fox for this one. And the numbers, I think, will surprise you. Over the full season, it would have Washington favored by 19 in this. Now, that would be somewhere around 39-20. Makes sense, I think. You start looking at crazy things. Available yards margin. You look at net points per drive. Explosiveness, all this kind of stuff. And it certainly looks like Washington would be a heavy, heavy favorite here, right? The 5 factors, rank and whatnot, that's big. But there are certain things that I like to look for, which I mentioned in this last thing. Turnover margin, which Washington State is terrible at. But then there's also penalties per game. Washington commits an average of 8 penalties per game. Washington State's number 57 in that metric. You start looking at points per scoring opportunity. Washington State's offense has been pretty good at that. Washington's offense is good at that. Washington State's defense can't stop anybody from scoring when they get inside the opponent 40. But that's for the full season. What's up with the last 4? Let's pull up the full numbers. That way you can see a little more of the screen. If I blew it up, what would that look like? Okay, that looks all right. It would have Washington by about 10. 9.95. 29-19, somewhere around there. That makes sense to me. It makes all the sense in the world, right? Because Washington State has shown signs of life where it didn't look like they were going to earlier in the year, and especially last week against Colorado. I mean, they absolutely lit up that offense. Now, I think Washington has a better offensive line than Colorado did, but it ain't that much better. And over the past 4 weeks, which is what these numbers are, Washington State, number 25 in offensive success rate, number 39 in defensive success rate allowed. Washington's defense, number 125. Now, Washington has played a more difficult schedule over the past few weeks. But there's something to that as well, right? I know that they're going into a rivalry game, but this is a pretty huge sandwich spot. Last week was kind of the test that they needed to get over when they went to Corvallis. They got past that one. And, yeah, you got a rivalry game this week, but next week is the Pac-12 championship game. You want to make it to the playoff, you got to win, that game next week. I'm curious here. PPA per rush, predicted points added per rush. This is what Washington is the worst at, number 131. Predicted points added per rush. Washington State is number 86 in that. However, Washington's defense is number 133 in rushing success rate allowed. Washington State's offense is number 6 in rushing success. Washington State can throw the ball too, number 20 in passing success rate on offense over the past 4 weeks. And Washington's defense is number 76. There are some holes in that Washington defense. I think that Cam Ward can take advantage of those. So are they going to win the game? Probably not. But 16.5 feels like way too many points in this game when you know that Washington has been through it, for one, and for two, they got a game coming up next week, probably against Oregon. I'm going to take Wazoo. Give me the Cougars plus the 16.5. I like Washington State here. This is the last of the Pac-12 versions of the Apple Cup. I think that they're going to show up here. I know it's in Seattle. Don't care. I think Washington has bigger fish to fry. They don't need to run up a score here. I expect them to. I expect the Cougars to show up big time in this one.
Thanks for listening to Winning Cures Everything. Make sure and follow me on Twitter @GaryWCE. If you want to toss in a question, you can email me Gary@winningcureseverything.com. Make sure and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.